Welcome back to this Money Control live stream. You're watching Closing Bell with me, Nandita, Khemka, and my colleague.
Hello there, I am Yatin, Mota.
Yatin, you will be heaving a sigh of relief, given the fact that we started on the back foot. We saw a triple-digit cut at the open, but we did stage a very smart recovery from the day's low. In fact, the Nifty, we reclaimed that 22,500 mark. Yes. That was a crucial support level. In fact, 22,450 was a crucial support level that we were managing to defend last week. Yesterday, we broke below that. Today, of course, there were jitters after we saw what happened in the US market overnight. We saw a 4% cut on Nasdaq, S&P 500 clocking its worst session in as many as 2 years. So yes, it was a very wobbly start. But we made a good recovery. We saw a 200-point recovery from the days low. The midcap index as well, Yatin, the broader end of the markets staged a very good comeback after a weak start. So yes, things are okay. We have managed to withstand the global gloom, at least today. I think much of the pessimism was preempted by us yesterday, Yatin, because yesterday we saw the Nifty slipping below that 22,450 mark as well. But of course, for now we are fine, even though we had a wobbly start. Look at the Nifty, Yatin, 22,500, just a shade below that level. The Sensex as well saw a very good 480, 500 point kind of a recovery. Mid-cap index ended with gains of 0.7% or thereabouts. And IT pack, that was, seeing deep cuts, but even that managed to recover almost 500 to 550 points from the day's low. What did well today, Yatin, was the Realty pack, shining bright, 3.5% uptick on the Realty index. Oil and gas as well, because Brent, mind you, is below $69 as well. It was somewhere around $68 a barrel, and that bode well for OMCs and energy pack. So we saw the oil and gas index also gaining in excess of 1%. Metals, pharma, these were some of the other sectors that lent support. On the other hand, of course, banks were down. No points for guessing. It was IndusInd Bank that was dragging the bank Nifty lower. IndusInd Bank, Yatin, 27% crash, right?
Yes, and
so,
20,000 crores kind of a market cap loss intraday. It is astonishing to see that the market capitalization of Yes Bank and IndusInd Bank, was almost 50,000 crores today.
Okay.
So, given the fact that there has been a steep correction in IndusInd Bank, almost 55%, in a one-year base, market capitalization from almost, 1.5 lakh crores in the peak today was, much below that 75,000 crores mark. So, yes, intraday nobody believed that the steepness of the fall could be this high, but yes, 655 on your screens, 27% lower.
That's true, Yatin.
Massive F&O volume.
Right. On a one-year basis, the stock has literally halved. So yes, that was the kind of fall. We'll talk about the stock in just a bit. But aside of that, IT stocks, of course, were in a spot of bother. So Infosys, top laggard, among the top laggards, M&M, Bajaj Finserv, Power Grid, these are some of the other stocks that weren't doing all that well. But what did well was Trent, Yatin. It has its days. We've seen a prolonged sell-off on shares of Trent, but in the middle, we do end up seeing the stock gaining here and there. So today was a good session for Trent. It was a top Nifty gainer. BPCL, of course, the crude comfort. Sun Pharma, ICICI Bank, Bharti Airtel, and Hero Moto, these were some of the other notable gainers on the index. But Yatin, quite a few buzzers when it comes to the broader end of the markets as well. Take us through some of them.
So, if you look at the Nifty 500, clearly the reaction has been mixed today. But talking about IndusInd, Tata Communications after the ICICI security upgrade, which we'll talk about it later in the show, but both of these stocks are moving well. 14% higher for IndusInd and almost a 9% gain coming in for Tata Communications post that ICICI Securities upgrade. Other stocks, so yesterday we spoke about Bharti Hexaware, Nandita, that stock was up nearly 8.5%. Paytm also doing well in the F&O trade, 7% higher for that one. But Nuvama, Triveni Turbine, Zensar Technology, City Union Bank are the other stocks which have lost anywhere between 5 to 8% in trade today.
All right, those were the movers and shakers. Of course, Bharti Hexaware we spoke about, that stock was doing well, and Tata Communications as well among the top gainers on the Nifty 500 index. But of course, I don't know, you'll call it the accident of the day?
Accident of the day.
Right? A 27% cut on shares of IndusInd. In fact, it hit a fresh 52-week low below the 650 mark, 649. That was the kind of low that we saw on the stock. Biggest fall on record. In fact, 18 to 20,000 crore rupees wiped off, as Yatin mentioned, from the market cap. You know, yesterday it was the CEO extension, the tenure for 1 year instead of 3 years that was weighing in on the stock, and we were discussing that, you know, the worst may be over. We've seen a big fall on the stock any which ways, but today, of course, all of that was negated, and we saw another 27% cut. Of course, that is attributable to the accounting discrepancy that the company discovered during its internal audit, right? And you know, in the derivative portfolios of portfolio, basically they miscalculated the cost that would come in terms of their forex transactions. True. And that of course is expected to you know, hit somewhere around 2.4% of its net worth, which translates to somewhere around 1500 or 1600 crore rupees on the profitability front. So yes, it has a net worth of 65,000 crore rupees, and of course, as I mentioned, 1500 crore rupee hit on the PNL. The internal review had flagged off this issue. Stock, of course, has been under pressure amid a slew of downgrades, which we saw yesterday as well. And today as well, there were a slew of downgrades and target price cuts. You know, just going through some of them, Nuvama has downgraded the stock to reduce target price 750. Morgan Stanley, on the other hand, has an equal weight call on the stock. Target price is a little higher at 900 rupees. But Morgan Stanley has said that now with this development, visibility on the stock reduces further. You know, there are downside risks to the numbers as well going forward post this disclosure. But you know, most of the brokerages are saying that, you know, more than the profit and loss hit, profitability hit, it's the credibility of the bank that has been hit. But you know, there are other concerns as well. You know, rising MFI slippages, margin contraction. These are some of the other issues. Aside of that, you know, even mutual funds have taken a big hit. Somewhere around 60,000 crore rupees, as the stock has plunged so much. You know, some of the notable mutual fund houses like ICICI Pru, HDFC Pru, these are the you know, mutual funds that have the largest Correct. Exposure to these to this stock. Of course, you know, in the month of February as well, the stock had seen outflows of somewhere around 1600 crore rupees or thereabouts, and of course, with today's fall, the outflows will only keep going up. You know, Kotak report I was reading, they have cautioned against any further negative developments. Of course, brokerages have already pointed out that the stock could be in for a de-rating in the absence of visibility with respect to who the next CEO will be. And now with this, you know, it further dents the reputation of the bank as well. And you know, aside of that, you know, if what kind of safeguards the bank puts in place, you know, that will be something that may kind of you know, keep act as a balm going forward. But you know, even the promoter was on CNBC TV 18, yes. Yatin. He's come out and quelled investor concerns. They've said that, you know, it's the management that has pointed out this discrepancy and not an external auditor. You know, the first word on this discrepancy came in from the management. So the promoter has said that investors should you know, respect the fact that management is transparent. They have also said that they weren't aware of this discrepancy earlier, and they will pump in you know, capital if required. But Yatin, of course, major setbacks in the last 2 days. What have you picked up when you've spoken to experts? So
now, you know, if you look at the calendar in May 2024, the management, which is, you know, the promoter group, you know, they were trying to increase their stake to up to 26%. They got a conditional nod from RBI, not a final nod. You know, a lot of back and forth on that front, so investors got disappointed. Then we had the CFO resignation, then the CEO tenure, which was supposed to get extended by 3 years, got only a 1 year you know, RBI approval, and you know, 2 days after that, we have a 1500 crore hole, which is probably you know, going to impact not only the net interest margins but also the profitability moving forward. Obviously, the management also said that they could see some peak asset quality stress in the microfinance you know, business, wherein the asset quality has deteriorated in the last 12 months from a gross NPA of nearly 4.5% odd. The gross NPAs of the MFI business have risen to 7.5% and still counting. You know, it is not that it has peaked at 7.5%. There could be some further stress there. So yes, you know, a lot of problems, a lot of resignations, a lot of back and forth on management. You know, the promoter infusion still has not received final nod from RBI. So I think that has kept the street slightly skeptic, you know, when it comes to the IndusInd Bank. Valuation wise, Nandita, it is already below one-time book on a forward basis. So yes, you know, a lot of issues, but a 27% fall in IndusInd Bank today was an overreaction according to many analysts. Let's see how does the stock shape up, given the fact that you know, we have seen such a huge fall on the share price. Stock, clearly under pressure, 680 rupees when it, got traded last. And, we have the book value, which is almost at 850 rupees. So nice, 20% correction from the book value for FY25 estimated earnings.
That's true, Yatin. But now the clarity will only emerge on this discrepancy issue by the end of the fourth quarter when the external report
before 31st March is what the management has said the report will be public.
So by the end of this fourth quarter, that is when we'll have some bit of clarity. But Street is expecting a loss now for the company in the fourth quarter as well, and margin of course is in a spot of bother, and so is the MFI portfolio as well. But Yatin, Tata Communications was one of the big buzzers today among the top gainers on the Nifty 500 index. What are you picking up?
Yes, so ICICI Security has done a double upgrade on the stock of Tata Communications. The target has been increased from close to 1700 to now the new target 1840. Now, ICICI Securities believes that the free cash flow situation of Tata Communication is improving. Stock is undervalued. Not only that, the street is yet to bake a 3,300 crore free cash flow generation with respect to the core connectivity income that will be there moving forward. Also, if you look at artificial intelligence and newer products, especially in the cloud ecosystems, that will drive the growth for Tata Communications moving forward. And obviously, if you look at the potential acquisitions, the kind of investments that the company has done, probably the street does not discount, those benefits according to ICICI Securities. And post this upgrade report, nice, 9-10% kind of move on stock of Tata Communications. In fact, the stock was one of the top F&O gainers in trade today.
Right, Yatin, another stock that was, I think Tata Communications, right? It has corrected quite a bit, although recently it has seen a good reversal. But on a 1 year basis, the stock has shaved off somewhere around 25% or thereabouts. So which is why I think brokerages feel valuations are looking attractive now. Another stock now, on my radar, that's Sun Pharma. The stock has been in news for the last couple of days. Of course, it has made a US acquisition. The stock was reacting yesterday as well, but some of the brokerages have reacted to it. Positive views coming in. Because of that, the stock was among the top gainers on the Nifty today, almost a 3% gain on Sun Pharma. It has, of course, acquired the NASDAQ listed Checkpoint Therapeutics for $355 million. And, of course, this acquisition will further lend muscle to its specialty portfolio. The deal, of course, involves an upfront cash payment of $4.1 per share, and the transaction will be completed somewhere in the second half of 2025. Now, this acquisition expands the company's onco-derma offerings and marks its entry into PDL1 program, which it's an inhibitor that is effective against multiple cancers with fewer side effects. Now, of course, Checkpoint is a commercial stage company that develops novel treatments for patients with solid tumor cancers, and the acquisition includes FDA approved treatment for advanced skin cancer. So, I think Sun Pharma already has two products here, and this particular acquisition and this product, this FDA approved treatment for advanced skin cancer, will only add to its portfolio. Now, Sun Pharma has been upgraded by ICICI Securities to buy from hold. Target price is at 1895 rupees, and the target price is based on 31 times FY27 EPS estimates. Stock has, of course, corrected almost 10% in the last 2 months, which is why I think ICICI Securities feels that even the valuation is looking fairly attractive at the current juncture. Both Motilal Oswal and HDFC Securities have also reiterated the buy rating on the stock. Incred has a hold rating on the stock, target price of 1900 or thereabouts. Now, these positive views are coming in despite some of the challenges that Sun Pharma has been facing in terms of the US, its weak US sales trajectory, uptick in research and development expenses as well. We've seen some US FDA related issues also troubling some of these pharma majors, and now with this tariff issue, of course, things are a little hazy when it comes to the outlook for pharma companies, especially those with presence in US. But despite that, I think post this acquisition, brokerages have given positive views, given the fact that it has only added more muscle to its specialty product portfolio.
And Sun Pharma is one of those companies which have done a lot of acquisitions in the past successfully. Be it Taro, be it a lot of these Israeli specialty, drug companies, and now with this acquisition in the oncology space, I think a lot of growth in the segment is expected. As you know, Sun Pharma has been talking about ramping up the specialty drug portfolio. They have been talking about oncology. they've been talking about a whole host of growth areas. And I think the kind of management acquisition prowess that we've seen in the past, probably, you know, this could lead to a very successful kind of a momentum for their overall growth portfolio moving forward.
All right, then that was about Sun Pharma, and we have managed to weather the global storm pretty well today, although it was a roller coaster, so to say. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Of course, we have the US inflation data coming out tomorrow, Yatin, so that will also be in focus. And our markets, you know, are back home as well. We will be watching out for inflation figures because it is expected to cool off to a 6-month low. That's the expectation. But yes, not a bad day. You know, we ended it on a positive note. The Nifty around that 22,500 mark. So of course, traders and investors will be heaving a sigh of relief. Tomorrow is another day, and now, you know, the global texture is such that, you know, we have to take each day as it comes, really. But with that, we've come to the end of this edition of Closing Bell. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Have a great evening and come back and join in tomorrow morning on Opening Bell at 9 a.m. Thank you. See you.